interested in a career in science, engineering or clinical research? CK Science is a specialist scientific recruitment company that recruits for the science sector in the UK and Europe.
CK Science recruits for scientists and engineers across the board. So we recruit at the very lowest level for laboratory technicians all the way up through to technical directors of multi-million-pound organisations.
There are always two aspects to what we're doing. We're paid by the client companies for our service, but obviously we can't provide the service without the candidate contact, which is very important to what we do.
Since 1991, CK Science have recruited scientists and engineers into the chemical, pharmaceutical, biotechnology, environmental, food and other related industries.
The two founding directors set up the company in 1991, and it grew and developed up until now so that we've got full national spread. We deal with all sorts of industries now, not just the environmental sector, and we've developed into a multi-million-pound turnover company.
The service we offer candidates looking for work is that once they've registered with us, which is basically handing us a copy of their CV, we'll sit down with them, we'll talk through their options, give them advice about interviews, give some practice, and then recommend to them a number of companies that they should be applying to.
Rather than try and force some kind of model that we have onto the company that is requiring our services, we spend a lot of time listening to what they want and try to put together a service that really suits their requirements.
CK Clinical was set up in 2004 to offer niche recruitment services to the pharmaceutical industry and provide expertise in the recruitment of staff for clinical research, data management, pharmacovigilance, medical information and regulatory affairs.
CK Clinical was formed in 2004, so a relatively young company in the grand scheme of things. But we formed really off the back of the success of CK Science within the pharmaceutical industry. It's got a very good reputation, and there was a gap really after which that they couldn't fulfil their clients' needs. So they were able to recruit for molecular biologists, analytical chemists, people involved even in the production process. But once a new chemical entity entered the clinical trials process, they didn't really get involved in the recruitment of people for that. So that's where CK Clinical came in, really.
All CK recruitment consultants are qualified scientists and/or professionally qualified recruitment specialists. Many consultants have also worked in the science sector and have first-hand experience in the industry. This means they truly understand the scientific and medical terminology and the intricacies of the science sector.
We are all scientists that recruit for scientists. So when a client comes to us and says, we need a scientist with this skill set, we understand exactly what they're saying. And when we interview candidates who could potentially fill that job, we know exactly what they're talking about as well. Finding good quality scientists is very, very difficult. It's a UK-wide industry and a global industry, so finding local talent who have these specific technical skills that they're looking for is often very, very difficult. Also, the science industry is a global industry, and talent is not just centred within the UK. People are going abroad, and there's really a focus to try and keep them here within their own companies.
With offices nationwide, the CK consultants also have local knowledge of the UK science industry.
In the UK, there's definitely a shortage of scientists, and companies are struggling to find good local talent with the kind of scientific skills that they're looking for. They're employing a number of methods to try and plug this gap, but there's a definite shortage in the industry. There's less and less universities offering scientific degree courses, and it does make companies struggle to find the best people that they can. One way they're trying to address this is to get talent from abroad. One of the ways companies are addressing this problem is to go abroad and source scientists and graduates from universities in developing countries and also from Europe as well. They have very good standards of education, and they're now coming to the UK to plug that shortage gap.
Both CK Science and CK Clinical have hundreds of active, permanent and temporary vacancies across the UK and Europe. In addition, they offer salary advice, CV writing and interview tips. As a candidate, all of their services are completely free. CK Science and CK Clinical are corporate members of the REC.
Anybody who wants to work in the pharmaceutical or biotechnology industry, a scientific background is certainly an added bonus. You can essentially do anything with a scientific degree. Every pharmaceutical or biotechnology company is a business at the end of the day, and they will have people who are involved in everything through from research and development through to logistics and getting things to site.
Basically what we plan to do with the business is to continue growing as we have done by extending our client base and by moving into new areas. It's very important to us to be in it for the long term. We've retained clients from our very early days as a company, and we feel that if we can work together with a company, they'll come back to us again and again. We're only as good as our reputation, really.